During the sunset on the opulent streets of Paris in June 1940, a profound transformation was underway. The City of Light, a beacon of culture and sophistication, was about to be plunged into darkness as Nazi Germany's swift invasion shattered the illusion of peace. Among the glittering facades of Parisian society, one name stood out: Coco Chanel. The renowned fashion designer, celebrated for her contributions to women's fashion, found herself at the epicenter of a storm that would challenge her legacy and provoke intense scrutiny. With the fall of France, the once vibrant atmosphere of Paris became suffused with an air of uncertainty and fear. The German occupation brought not only military might but also a pervasive sense of dread that permeated daily life. Citizens were forced to adapt to a new reality, where curfews, rationing, and the omnipresent gaze of the occupiers dictated their existence. In this tumultuous environment, whispers began to circulate about Chanel's alleged connections to the Nazi regime, casting a long shadow over her illustrious career. Chanel's life during these years was marked by her residence at the luxurious Hotel Ritz, an establishment that had become a sanctuary for the elite, including high-ranking German officers. The Ritz, with its lavish decor and exclusive clientele, stood in stark contrast to the grim realities faced by the average Parisian. When the war raged on, the juxtaposition of Chanel's glamorous lifestyle against the backdrop of occupation created a cognitive dissonance that left many questioning her loyalties. The rumors surrounding her alleged collaboration with the Nazis were met with disbelief, as many found it difficult to reconcile the image of the iconic designer with the notion of betrayal. Yet, as the war dragged on, the whispers grew louder, hinting at a more complex narrative that defied easy categorization. Chanel's relationships with influential figures, both French and German, became a focal point of speculation. Baron Hans Günther von Dincklage, a German intelligence officer, was among those who frequented her circle, further complicating the public's perception of her actions. For many, the idea that Chanel could be involved with the enemy was unthinkable. She was a symbol of French elegance, her creations embodying the very essence of Parisian chic. The disbelief that characterized the initial response to these rumors was not without basis. Chanel had long been a fixture in the upper echelons of society, her connections spanning the worlds of fashion, art, and politics. Her relationships with influential figures were well documented, yet the suggestion that she might be collaborating with the Nazis seemed a step too far for many. The fashion world, already reeling from the disruptions of war, was reluctant to entertain the idea that one of its most iconic figures could be embroiled in such a scandal. However, as the years passed and the occupation continued, the whispers persisted, speaking of clandestine meetings and coded communications. Chanel's life became a tapestry woven with intrigue, as she navigated the treacherous waters of a society divided by collaboration and resistance. The disbelief that initially greeted the rumors was but the first chapter in a story that would continue to unfold, echoing the broader themes of a nation at war. In the context of the German occupation, France was a nation grappling with its identity, forced to confront the moral ambiguities of survival and loyalty. The rumors surrounding Chanel took on symbolic significance, representing the broader struggle between collaboration and resistance that defined the era. While the war progressed, the lines between truth and fiction became increasingly blurred, leaving a trail of unanswered questions in their wake. For Chanel, the challenge was not only to defend her reputation but to navigate the complex realities of a world at war, where the boundaries between friend and foe were often indistinct. The initial disbelief surrounding the allegations against Chanel reflected the broader societal tensions of the time. France, under occupation, was a nation divided, its people forced to navigate a treacherous landscape of shifting allegiances and moral ambiguity. In this context, the whispers surrounding Chanel became a microcosm of the larger struggles faced by the French populace, as they grappled with the implications of collaboration and resistance in their daily lives. When the war continued, the stakes grew higher, and the need for clarity around Chanel's actions became paramount. The whispers of collaboration, once dismissed as idle gossip, began to take on a life of their own, intertwining with the narratives of a nation in turmoil. The disbelief that characterized the initial response to these rumors was merely the beginning of a complex saga that would challenge perceptions and provoke debate for decades to come. The fall of France in June 1940 marked a pivotal moment in the history of World War II, as the nation found itself under the oppressive rule of Nazi Germany. The swift invasion left the French government in disarray, leading to the establishment of the Vichy regime in the unoccupied southern zone. This new government, led by Marshal Philippe Pétain, sought to collaborate with the German occupiers, creating a climate of fear and suspicion that permeated every aspect of French life. For the citizens of France, the occupation was a time of profound uncertainty, as they grappled with the harsh realities of life under foreign rule. The German presence was felt in every corner of the country, from the bustling streets of Paris to the quiet villages of the countryside. Daily life was marked by curfews, rationing, and the constant threat of violence. The occupying forces imposed strict regulations, controlling everything from food distribution to public gatherings, leaving the French populace to navigate a complex web of allegiances and betrayals. In this fraught environment, Coco Chanel found herself at the center of a moral quagmire. As a prominent figure in the world of fashion, she was no stranger to the corridors of power, her connections extending to both the German military and the Vichy government. These associations, while not uncommon in the upper echelons of society, took on new significance in the context of occupation, as the stakes grew higher and the consequences of one's actions became increasingly dire. Chanel's life during these years was marked by her residence at the Hotel Ritz, a symbol of luxury that stood in stark contrast to the deprivation faced by the average French citizen. The Ritz, with its opulent surroundings and exclusive clientele, became a microcosm of the broader societal tensions of the time, as German officers and French collaborators mingled with the elite of Parisian society. For Chanel, the hotel was both a sanctuary and a prison, a place where she could maintain her glamorous lifestyle while remaining under the watchful eye of the occupiers. The complexities of Chanel's situation were emblematic of the broader challenges faced by the French people during the occupation. The Vichy regime, with its policy of collaboration, created a climate of moral ambiguity that left many struggling to reconcile their personal beliefs with the demands of survival. For some, collaboration was a pragmatic choice, a means of navigating the treacherous landscape of occupation while preserving their way of life. For others, it was a betrayal of the highest order, a capitulation to the enemy that could not be justified. In this context, Chanel's connections with influential figures in both the German military and the Vichy government took on new significance. Over time, her relationships became a source of suspicion, as whispers of collaboration began to circulate. The stakes were high, and the lines between friend and foe were often indistinct, leaving Chanel to navigate a complex and dangerous world where the wrong move could have dire consequences. As the occupation wore on, the tension between collaboration and resistance became increasingly pronounced, with the French people forced to make difficult choices in the face of overwhelming odds. The resistance, a network of groups dedicated to opposing the Nazi regime, began to form in response to the occupation, employing a range of tactics from sabotage to intelligence gathering. These individuals risked their lives to undermine the occupiers, often operating in secrecy and relying on the support of sympathetic citizens. The resistance's activities were not without challenges. The Gestapo, the Nazi secret police, was vigilant in its efforts to root out dissent, employing brutal tactics to suppress any opposition. Citizens lived in constant fear of betrayal, as neighbors could easily turn against one another under the pressure of occupation. In this environment, the complexities of loyalty and betrayal became intertwined, as individuals grappled with the moral implications of their choices. For Chanel, the challenge was not only to maintain her position in the world of fashion but to navigate the complex realities of a nation at war, where the boundaries between right and wrong were often blurred. The context of occupation, with its myriad challenges and moral ambiguities, set the stage for the unfolding drama of Chanel's wartime actions. As the whispers of collaboration grew louder, the need for clarity around her actions became paramount, with the stakes higher than ever before. While the war progressed, the lines between truth and fiction became increasingly blurred, leaving a trail of unanswered questions in their wake. The context of occupation, with its myriad challenges and moral ambiguities, set the stage for the unfolding drama of Chanel's wartime actions. The whispers surrounding her became a reflection of the broader societal struggles faced by the French people, as they navigated the complexities of collaboration and resistance in their daily lives. In this tumultuous period, the narrative of Coco Chanel serves as a lens through which to examine the broader themes of survival, loyalty, and moral ambiguity in occupied France. Her story, intertwined with the fate of a nation, reflects the intricate interplay of art, politics, and human resilience in times of crisis. As the war continued to unfold, the stakes grew higher, and the need for clarity around Chanel's actions became paramount, setting the stage for the complex saga that would follow. As the tide of war began to turn in favor of the Allies, the whispers surrounding Coco Chanel's alleged collaboration with the Nazis grew louder, reaching a crescendo in 1944. The liberation of Paris in August of that year marked a turning point in the conflict, as the city erupted in celebration and the occupying forces were driven out. Yet, amidst the jubilation, a darker narrative was unfolding, as the French resistance and journalists began to scrutinize the actions of those who had lived under occupation. Chanel's residence at the Hotel Ritz, formerly a symbol of her glamorous lifestyle, had become a focal point of controversy. The hotel, with its history of hosting high-ranking German officers, was seen as a hotbed of collaboration, and Chanel's presence there only added fuel to the fire. Allegations of her involvement with the Nazis began to surface in earnest, as investigators delved into her connections and sought to uncover the truth behind the rumors. The French resistance, emboldened by the liberation, took a keen interest in Chanel's activities, viewing her as a potential collaborator who had used her influence to further the enemy's cause. Journalists, too, began to investigate her ties to the Nazis, uncovering potential coded communications that suggested she may have acted as an intermediary. These revelations cast a shadow over her reputation, as the public grappled with the implications of her alleged actions. The tension surrounding Chanel's wartime conduct was palpable, as the need for clarity around her actions became paramount. The liberation of Paris had brought with it a sense of justice, as collaborators were brought to account for their actions. For Chanel, the stakes were higher than ever, as her reputation hung in the balance and the world watched with bated breath. As the investigations continued, the complexity of Chanel's situation became increasingly apparent. Some viewed her as a cunning collaborator, using her connections to further her own interests at the expense of her country. Others saw her as a reluctant survivor, caught in a perilous situation and forced to navigate a treacherous landscape of shifting allegiances. The truth, it seemed, was not easily discernible, leaving a trail of unanswered questions in its wake. The confrontation between Chanel and her accusers was emblematic of the broader societal tensions of the time, as France grappled with the legacy of occupation and the moral ambiguities it had engendered. The lines between collaboration and resistance were often blurred, leaving many to question the true nature of their actions and the motivations behind them. For Chanel, the challenge was not only to defend her reputation but to navigate the complex realities of a world at war, where the boundaries between friend and foe were often indistinct. The allegations against her, while damaging, were not without precedent, as many in her social circle faced similar scrutiny in the wake of liberation. As the conflict neared the need for clarity around Chanel's actions became increasingly urgent, with the stakes higher than ever before. The confrontation between Chanel and her accusers was but one chapter in a larger story, a narrative that would continue to unfold in the years to come, as historians and journalists sought to uncover the truth behind the rumors. The allegations against Chanel served as a lens through which to examine the broader themes of collaboration, resistance, and moral ambiguity in occupied France. Her story, with its complexities and contradictions, remains a testament to the intricate interplay of art, politics, and human resilience in times of crisis. The investigations into Chanel's wartime conduct were not merely personal. They reflected a society grappling with its own identity in the aftermath of occupation. The French people, having endured years of hardship and oppression, were eager to hold accountable those who had collaborated with the enemy. In this context, Chanel's high profile made her an easy target, a symbol of the elite who had thrived while others suffered. As journalists began to publish their findings, the narrative surrounding Chanel took on a life of its own. Articles appeared in newspapers and magazines, some portraying her as a traitor, others as a victim of circumstance. The media frenzy surrounding her actions intensified, with public opinion shifting rapidly as new information came to light. The complexity of her situation was often lost in the sensationalism of the press, which thrived on the drama of her alleged betrayal. Among the most damning accusations was the claim that Chanel had sought to leverage her connections with the Nazis to regain control of her perfume business, which had been taken over during the occupation. This assertion painted her not only as a collaborator but as someone willing to sacrifice her country for personal gain. The notion that a woman of her stature could be so duplicitous was a bitter pill for many to swallow, particularly in a society that had revered her as a national icon. The public's fascination with Chanel's story was fueled by the broader cultural context of post-war France. The liberation had ignited a wave of nationalism and a desire for accountability, leading to a reckoning with the past that was both cathartic and painful. In this climate, Chanel's alleged actions became emblematic of the moral dilemmas faced by many during the occupation. The question of collaboration was not black and white, it was a complex tapestry of choices made under duress, survival instincts, and the harsh realities of war. As the investigations progressed, Chanel's response to the allegations was measured. She maintained a public silence, choosing not to engage with the media or defend herself against the growing tide of accusations. This silence, while strategic, only fueled the speculation surrounding her actions. In a society hungry for answers, her reticence was interpreted as an admission of guilt, further complicating her already precarious position. The confrontation reached a fever pitch when Chanel was summoned for questioning by the authorities. The atmosphere was charged with tension, as the public awaited the outcome of the investigation. Would she be exonerated, or would the allegations of collaboration be substantiated? The stakes were high, not only for Chanel but for the broader narrative of France's wartime experience. During her questioning, Chanel's demeanor was reportedly calm and composed. She denied the allegations of espionage and collaboration, asserting that her relationships with German officials were purely social and that she had never acted against the interests of her country. Yet, the evidence against her was compelling, and the investigators were determined to uncover the truth. The fallout from the investigation was swift. As the public grappled with the implications of Chanel's alleged actions, her reputation suffered irreparable damage. The once celebrated designer found herself ostracized, her name synonymous with betrayal in the eyes of many. The fashion world, which had once embraced her as a pioneer, had turned its back, leaving her to navigate the storm of controversy alone. In the wake of the investigation, Chanel's life took on a new trajectory. The confrontation with her accusers had not only exposed the complexities of her wartime actions but had also forced her to confront the realities of her choices. The lines between collaboration and resistance were blurred, and the consequences of her actions would haunt her for years to come. As the dust settled, the narrative surrounding Chanel's wartime conduct continued to evolve. Historians and journalists would grapple with the complexities of her story for decades, seeking to understand the motivations behind her actions and the broader implications of her choices. The confrontation that began in 1944 was but the first step in a long journey toward understanding the intricate interplay of art, politics, and human resilience in times of crisis. In the years that followed, the debate over Chanel's legacy would only intensify. Some would argue that her actions were a reflection of the moral ambiguities faced by many during the occupation, while others would view her as a symbol of betrayal. The complexities of her life and the choices she made would continue to resonate, offering valuable insights into the human experience in times of war. Ultimately, the confrontation surrounding Chanel's alleged collaboration with the Nazis served as a microcosm of the broader societal tensions of post-war France. The struggle for accountability, the quest for justice, and the desire to understand the past were themes that would echo through the years, shaping the narrative of a nation grappling with its identity in the aftermath of conflict. As the world moved forward, the legacy of Coco Chanel remained a subject of fascination and debate. Her story, marked by triumph and tragedy, would continue to captivate historians and fashion enthusiasts alike, serving as a reminder of the complexities of human nature and the enduring impact of choices made in times of crisis. As the echoes of war began to fade, the world was left to sift through the rubble of its recent past, seeking clarity and understanding amidst the chaos. For Coco Chanel, the of World War II marked the beginning of a new battle, one fought not with weapons, but with words, documents, and the relentless pursuit of truth. The revelations that emerged in 1945 would forever alter the perception of one of fashion's most iconic figures. The liberation of Paris in August 1944 had brought with it a wave of euphoria and a thirst for justice. The French resistance, having played a crucial role in the city's liberation, turned its attention to those suspected of collaboration with the Nazi occupiers. Among the names whispered in the corridors of power and in the cafés of Paris was that of Coco Chanel. Her residence at the Hotel Ritz, a known hub for high-ranking German officers, had not gone unnoticed. In the months following the liberation, declassified files from MI6 and French intelligence began to surface, painting a complex picture of Chanel's wartime activities. These documents, some of which had been meticulously compiled by Allied intelligence operatives, suggested that Chanel's relationship with the Nazis was more than just social. Allegations of espionage began to circulate, with claims that she had acted as an intermediary between German officials and the Vichy regime. One of the most damning pieces of evidence was a series of coded communications intercepted by the Allies. These messages, cryptic and enigmatic, hinted at a clandestine role played by Chanel in the intricate web of wartime espionage. The documents referred to a mysterious figure known as Agent F7124, believed by some historians to be Chanel herself. This revelation sent shockwaves through the fashion world and beyond, challenging the public's perception of the celebrated designer. Yet, as with many wartime narratives, the truth was far from clear-cut. Some historians argued that Chanel's actions were driven by a desire for survival rather than collaboration. The occupation had forced many Parisians into difficult choices, and Chanel, like countless others, had navigated a perilous landscape of shifting allegiances and moral ambiguity. Her connections with influential figures, both German and French, could be seen as a pragmatic strategy to protect her interests and those of her business. The debate over Chanel's wartime conduct intensified as journalists and historians delved deeper into the archives. Books and articles emerged, each offering a different interpretation of her actions. Some portrayed her as a cunning collaborator, willing to betray her country for personal gain. Others painted her as a reluctant survivor, caught in a web of intrigue and deception beyond her control. As the revelations unfolded, Chanel herself remained largely silent, retreating from the public eye. Her absence only fueled speculation, leaving the world to grapple with the enigma of her wartime years. The complexity of her story served as a microcosm of the broader moral dilemmas faced by those living under occupation, highlighting the blurred lines between collaboration and resistance. In the wake of the revelations, Chanel's reputation continued to suffer. The fashion industry, once her sanctuary, became a battleground of opinions, with many distancing themselves from her legacy. The whispers of collaboration and betrayal echoed through the halls of fashion houses, as designers and critics alike grappled with the implications of her actions. The once revered icon now found herself at the center of a storm, her past threatening to overshadow her contributions to the world of fashion. The revelations of 1945 not only impacted Chanel's personal life, but also sparked a broader conversation about the nature of collaboration during the occupation. The complexities of wartime choices were laid bare, forcing society to confront the uncomfortable truths of its past. The question of who was complicit and who was a victim became a central theme in the discourse surrounding the war, as individuals sought to navigate the murky waters of morality and survival. As Chanel's story continued to unfold, the public's fascination with her life only deepened. Documentaries, biographies, and articles proliferated, each attempting to unravel the mystery of her wartime actions. The narrative surrounding her became a reflection of the broader societal struggle to come to terms with the legacy of occupation, as the lines between heroism and betrayal remained blurred. In the years that followed, Chanel's life became a subject of intense scrutiny, with historians and journalists dissecting her every move. The revelations of 1945 served as a catalyst for a re-examination of her legacy, prompting a deeper exploration of the choices made by individuals during times of crisis. The complexities of her story resonated with a generation grappling with its own identity in the aftermath of war. As the debate over Chanel's wartime conduct raged on, her influence on fashion remained undeniable. Despite the controversies surrounding her actions, her designs continued to shape the industry, a testament to her enduring legacy. The Chanel No. 5 perfume, launched in 1921, remained a symbol of luxury and sophistication, transcending the controversies of her past. The revelations of 1945 ultimately served to complicate Chanel's legacy, transforming her from a celebrated icon into a figure of controversy. The complexities of her wartime actions became a lens through which to examine the broader themes of collaboration, resistance, and moral ambiguity in occupied France. The ongoing debate surrounding her life and choices would continue to captivate historians and fashion enthusiasts alike, as they sought to understand the intricate interplay of art, politics, and human resilience in times of crisis. In the unraveling of the mystery surrounding Coco Chanel's wartime actions was not merely a personal journey, it was a reflection of a society grappling with its own identity in the aftermath of conflict. The legacy of her life and work would continue to resonate, serving as a reminder of the complexities of human nature and the enduring impact of choices made in times of crisis. As the world moved forward, the story of Coco Chanel remained a testament to the intricate interplay of art, politics, and human resilience. Her life, marked by triumph and tragedy, would continue to captivate and confound, offering valuable insights into the human experience in times of war and peace. The aftermath of World War II was a time of reckoning for many individuals who had lived through the tumultuous years of occupation. For Coco Chanel, the end of the war marked not only a cessation of hostilities but also the beginning of a new struggle, one that would challenge her identity, her legacy, and her very existence in the world of fashion. The allegations of collaboration with the Nazis had cast a long shadow over her reputation, forcing her into a self-imposed exile that would last nearly a decade. In 1945, Chanel retreated to Switzerland, seeking refuge from the storm of controversy that surrounded her. The tranquil Swiss landscape provided a stark contrast to the chaos of post-war Paris, yet the specter of her past loomed large. The fashion world, once enamored with her revolutionary designs, had moved on. New designers emerged, capturing the zeitgeist of a world eager to rebuild and redefine itself after the devastation of war. The likes of Christian Dior and Pierre Balmain rose to prominence, their creations embodying a spirit of renewal and optimism that Chanel's earlier work had once epitomized. Chanel's exile was marked by a profound sense of loss. The vibrant Parisian salons, where she had once held court, were now filled with fresh faces and new ideas. The fashion industry had undergone a seismic shift during her absence, as the trauma of war gave way to a desire for joy and celebration. The opulence of the pre-war era was replaced by a more practical approach to fashion, one that favored comfort and functionality over extravagance. In this new landscape, Chanel's signature style, characterized by its elegance and sophistication, seemed out of step with the times. Yet, even in obscurity, Chanel's influence endured. Her pioneering spirit and innovative designs had left an indelible mark on the fashion industry, shaping the course of modern style. The Chanel No. 5 perfume, launched in 1921, continued to captivate the senses, a testament to her enduring legacy. However, the perfume's success was bittersweet. It served as a reminder of a world that had moved on without her, a world that was now questioning the very foundations of her reputation. As the years passed, the world began to reassess its view of Chanel. The complexities of her wartime conduct, once a source of scandal, were now seen through the lens of historical context. The moral ambiguities of the occupation, the choices made under duress, and the intricate dance of survival and collaboration were re-evaluated, offering a more nuanced understanding of her actions. Historians began to explore the broader implications of her story, examining the societal pressures that had shaped the decisions of countless individuals during the occupation. In 1954, Chanel made a dramatic decision to return to the fashion world. The announcement of her comeback was met with both anticipation and skepticism. The world had changed, and so had the public's perception of Chanel. Her return was not just a professional endeavor, but a personal quest for redemption and reinvention. The question remained, could a woman so deeply entwined in the controversies of her past reclaim her place in a world that had moved on? Chanel's new collection, unveiled in February 1954, was a departure from the opulence and extravagance that had characterized post-war fashion. Instead, she embraced simplicity and elegance, harkening back to the principles that had defined her early work. The collection featured the now iconic Chanel suit, a symbol of timeless sophistication and modernity. This suit, with its clean lines and tailored silhouette, resonated with a generation of women who sought both style and practicality in their wardrobes. The reaction to Chanel's return was mixed. Some critics hailed her as a visionary, applauding her ability to adapt and innovate in a rapidly changing world. Others remained skeptical, their perceptions colored by the lingering questions of her wartime conduct. Yet, despite the controversy, Chanel's influence on fashion was undeniable. Her designs quickly regained their status as symbols of elegance and sophistication, capturing the imagination of a new generation. However, Chanel's return was not without its challenges. The fashion industry was evolving, with new designers and trends emerging at a rapid pace. The youthful exuberance of the post-war era was in stark contrast to Chanel's established aesthetic, and she faced the daunting task of re-establishing her relevance in a world that had changed dramatically. The pressure to succeed weighed heavily on her, as she navigated the complexities of a society eager to embrace the future while grappling with the shadows of the past. Chanel's transformation during this period was emblematic of a broader cultural shift. The world was grappling with the legacies of war, and the desire for renewal and reinvention permeated every aspect of life. For Chanel, her return to fashion was not just about reclaiming her status. It was a personal journey of redemption, a chance to redefine her legacy in a world that had once turned its back on her. As she re-established herself in the fashion world, Chanel sought to redefine her narrative. Her work became a canvas for her personal story, a reflection of her journey from scandal to redemption. The Chanel brand, once synonymous with controversy, was now a symbol of innovation and elegance. Yet, the questions surrounding her wartime actions lingered, a reminder of the complexities of history and the enduring impact of the past on the present. The consequences of Chanel's wartime conduct were far-reaching, affecting not only her personal life but also the broader cultural landscape. The moral dilemmas faced by individuals during the occupation were mirrored in her own choices, highlighting the intricate interplay of survival, collaboration, and resistance. As the world sought to make sense of its past, Chanel's story served as a powerful reminder of the complexities of human behavior in times of crisis. In the The turning point for Coco Chanel was not just her return to fashion, but her ability to confront the consequences of her past. It was a testament to her resilience and determination, a refusal to be defined by the shadows of her history. The legacy of Coco Chanel, shaped by both her triumphs and her tribulations, remains a reflection of the intricate dance between art, politics, and human resilience in the face of adversity. The year 1954 marked a significant turning point not only for Coco Chanel but also for the fashion industry as a whole. Chanel's return to Paris and her subsequent re-emergence in the fashion world were emblematic of a broader cultural transformation taking place in post-war Europe. The aftermath of World War II had left an indelible mark on society, and the desire for renewal and reinvention permeated every aspect of life, including fashion. Chanel's comeback was a bold statement, an assertion of resilience and creativity in the face of adversity. Her new collection, which showcased the iconic Chanel suit, was a reflection of her ability to adapt to the changing times while remaining true to her design philosophy. The suit, with its structured silhouette and elegant lines, resonated with women who sought both style and practicality in their wardrobes. It became a symbol of empowerment, allowing women to embrace their newfound independence in a world that was rapidly evolving. However, the transformation of Chanel's career was not without its challenges. The fashion landscape had shifted dramatically during her absence, and the youthful exuberance of the post-war era was in stark contrast to her established aesthetic. The emergence of new designers, such as Christian Dior, who introduced the new look, with its emphasis on femininity and extravagance, posed a direct challenge to Chanel's minimalist approach. The fashion industry was in a state of flux, and Chanel had to navigate this new terrain carefully. Chanel's ability to reinvent herself was a testament to her resilience and creativity. She understood that to remain relevant, she had to embrace the changing tastes of her audience while staying true to her core principles. This delicate balance was reflected in her designs, which combined elements of classic elegance with modern sensibilities. The Chanel suit, for instance, was not only a nod to her past, but also a forward-looking statement that resonated with the aspirations of contemporary women. As Chanel re-established herself in the fashion world, she also sought to redefine her legacy. The controversies surrounding her wartime conduct had not disappeared, but she was determined to move beyond them. The narrative of her life became a canvas for her personal journey, a reflection of her struggles and triumphs. Chanel's transformation was not just about reclaiming her status in the fashion industry, it was a quest for redemption and a desire to leave a lasting impact on the world. The complexities of Chanel's story served as a microcosm of the broader societal changes taking place in post-war Europe. The moral dilemmas faced by individuals during the occupation were mirrored in her own choices, highlighting the intricate interplay of survival, collaboration, and resistance. As the world sought to make sense of its past, Chanel's narrative became a powerful reminder of the complexities of human behavior in times of crisis. In the years following her return, Chanel continued to innovate and inspire. Her designs became synonymous with elegance and sophistication, shaping the course of modern style. The Chanel brand, with its iconic interlocking C logo, became a symbol of luxury and refinement, a testament to her enduring legacy. Yet, even as her influence on fashion persisted, the questions surrounding her wartime actions remained a source of intrigue and debate. The ongoing discourse surrounding Chanel's legacy reflects the broader complexities of history and memory. The moral ambiguities of the occupation, the choices made under duress, and the intricate dance of survival and collaboration continue to resonate, offering valuable insights into the human experience in times of crisis. As new evidence emerges and perspectives shift, the story of Coco Chanel remains a testament to the intricate interplay of art, politics, and human resilience. Chanel's transformation during this period was not just a personal victory, it was a reflection of the resilience of the human spirit. Her ability to confront the consequences of her past and emerge stronger served as an inspiration to many. The legacy of Coco Chanel is a reminder that even in the face of adversity, creativity and innovation can prevail. In the aftermath of Coco Chanel's life and career is a reflection of the world she inhabited, a world marked by conflict, creativity, and the relentless pursuit of beauty and truth. Her story is one of transformation and resilience, a testament to the power of reinvention and the enduring allure of fashion. As the decades have passed, the legacy of Coco Chanel has continued to captivate and confound. Her contributions to fashion are undisputed, yet the questions surrounding her wartime actions remain a source of debate and intrigue. The complexities of her life serve as a lens through which to examine broader themes of collaboration, resistance, and moral ambiguity in occupied France. In the years following her return to fashion in 1954, Chanel's influence only grew. Her designs became synonymous with elegance and sophistication, shaping the course of modern style. The Chanel brand, with its iconic interlocking C logo, became a symbol of luxury and refinement, a testament to her enduring legacy. The Chanel No. 5 perfume remained a cultural touchstone, celebrated for its timeless appeal and marketed as the essence of femininity. Yet, even as her influence on fashion persisted, the debate over her wartime conduct continued to simmer. Historians and journalists have revisited the allegations of collaboration and espionage, each offering their own interpretations of her actions. Some view her as a victim of circumstance, forced to navigate a treacherous landscape of shifting allegiances. Others argue that her choices were driven by ambition and self-preservation, a willingness to compromise her principles for personal gain. The ongoing debate over Chanel's legacy reflects the broader complexities of history and memory. The moral ambiguities of the occupation, the choices made under duress, and the intricate dance of survival and collaboration continue to resonate, offering valuable insights into the human experience in times of crisis. In the 1960s and 1970s, as the world grappled with the aftermath of World War II, Chanel's story became emblematic of the struggle between personal ambition and ethical responsibility. The feminist movement, gaining momentum during this period, began to reassess the narratives surrounding powerful women, including Chanel. Scholars and activists sought to understand how women navigated the complexities of a male-dominated world, often forced to make difficult choices in the face of societal expectations and political turmoil. Chanel's life, with its contradictions and complexities, became a focal point for discussions about women's agency in the context of war and occupation. The narrative of her collaboration with the Nazis was juxtaposed against her status as a pioneering businesswoman who revolutionized the fashion industry. This duality sparked a broader conversation about the moral compromises women made in pursuit of success and survival, challenging the simplistic dichotomy of good versus evil. In the 1980s and 1990s, as the fashion industry underwent significant changes, Chanel's legacy continued to evolve. The rise of postmodernism in art and culture encouraged a re-evaluation of historical figures, prompting designers and scholars to explore the complexities of Chanel's contributions to fashion. The emergence of new voices in fashion, particularly those from diverse backgrounds, began to challenge the traditional narratives that had long dominated the industry. Chanel's influence was undeniable, yet her wartime actions remained a contentious topic. Documentaries, biographies, and films began to emerge, each attempting to unravel the enigma of her life. The 2008 biopic Coco Before Chanel, starring Audrey Tautou, presented a romanticized version of Chanel's early years, focusing on her rise to prominence while glossing over the more controversial aspects of her life. Critics argued that such portrayals risked sanitizing her legacy, neglecting the complexities of her wartime conduct. In contrast, the 2019 documentary, Coco Chanel, The Legend and the Life, sought to present a more nuanced view, delving into the allegations of collaboration and the moral ambiguities of her choices. This film, along with others, contributed to a growing awareness of the need for critical engagement with historical narratives, emphasizing the importance of examining the past through multiple lenses. As new evidence emerged and perspectives shifted, the story of Coco Chanel remained a testament to the intricate interplay of art, politics, and human resilience. Her life and legacy served as a reminder of the power of creativity and innovation, even in the face of adversity. The complexities of her actions during the war continued to provoke discussion, prompting historians to explore the broader implications of collaboration and resistance in occupied France. In the early 21st century, Chanel's legacy was further complicated by the rise of social media and the democratization of fashion discourse. The accessibility of information allowed for a more diverse range of voices to engage with Chanel's story, challenging the traditional narratives that had long dominated the fashion industry. Bloggers, influencers, and historians began to share their interpretations of Chanel's life, contributing to a more multifaceted understanding of her impact on fashion and society. The fashion industry itself underwent a transformation, with an increasing emphasis on inclusivity and diversity. As brands sought to redefine their identities in a rapidly changing world, Chanel's legacy became a focal point for discussions about representation and ethics in fashion. The question of how to honor Chanel's contributions while grappling with the complexities of her past became a central theme in the ongoing discourse surrounding her legacy. In recent years, exhibitions dedicated to Chanel's life and work have emerged in major museums around the world, offering new insights into her contributions to fashion and culture. The 2019 exhibition, Gabrielle Chanel, Fashion Manifesto, at the Palais Galliera in Paris showcased her designs while also addressing the controversies surrounding her wartime actions. Curators sought to create a dialogue between her innovative contributions to fashion and the moral complexities of her life, inviting visitors to engage with the nuances of her legacy. The impact of Chanel's story extends beyond the realm of fashion, serving as a case study in the broader themes of collaboration, resistance, and the moral ambiguities of war. Her life invites reflection on the choices individuals make in times of crisis, the complexities of survival, and the enduring impact of those choices on future generations. The questions surrounding her actions during the war remain relevant, prompting discussions about the ethical responsibilities of individuals in positions of power and influence. As new generations of designers and scholars continue to engage with Chanel's legacy, the conversation surrounding her wartime actions remains a vital part of the narrative. The complexities of her life serve as a reminder that history is rarely black and white, and that the legacies of individuals are often shaped by the intricate interplay of personal choices and societal pressures. Today, the Chanel brand continues to thrive, a symbol of timeless elegance and sophistication. Yet, the questions surrounding its founder's wartime actions remain, a reminder of the complexities of history and the enduring impact of the past on the present. The legacy of Coco Chanel is a reflection of the world she inhabited, a world marked by conflict, creativity, and the relentless pursuit of beauty and truth. Her story is one of transformation and resilience, a testament to the power of reinvention and the enduring allure of fashion. In conclusion, the legacy of Coco Chanel is a multifaceted narrative that encompasses the triumphs and tribulations of a woman who navigated the complexities of a tumultuous era. Her contributions to fashion are celebrated, yet the questions surrounding her wartime actions continue to provoke debate and reflection. As we engage with her story, we are reminded of the intricate interplay of art, politics, and human experience, and the enduring impact of our choices in shaping the narratives of our lives.